Hey everyone, welcome back to Shade Review. In today's video, we have a really unique pair of Ray-Ban sunglasses. These are the Ray-Ban Wayfarer Genuine Leather Sunglasses, and the model number here is RB2140QM. So this exact pair was produced by Luxottica. Ray-Ban, Bosch & Lomb also did produce a pair back in I believe the 70s and 80s, and those are even harder to find in good condition. This pair was discontinued about 10 years ago, so they are actually very, very hard to get your hands on, and there's a couple reasons why I think they were discontinued, and we'll get into that kind of later in the video. Now, as far as I'm aware, these frames only come in the one standard lens size, which has 50mm lenses, and these frames are built on top of an original classic RB2140 Wayfarer sunglasses with acetate frames. So basically, they just take a normal black RB2140 Wayfarer, and then they put the leather around the frames, and that's the only difference between these and those original Ray-Ban Wayfarer sunglasses. What makes these frames really unique is the attention to detail here with the leather. Now, as you probably can imagine, wrapping a pair of acetate original Wayfarers is extremely hard, especially if you're trying to do that in a seamless fashion. And there is going to come in the main downfall of these frames. The only way Ray-Ban was able to kind of make the seam here on the inside look nice and smooth was they actually used some sort of leather cement material. So it actually is not a leather material right here around the rim, kind of where the sewing part would be if you were to sew two pieces of leather together. So we can kind of see that all around here, and it looks really, really clean when it's brand new. But if you wear them for a couple months at a time, eventually you're going to kind of get some little pits or nicks in that cement, not in the leather, but just in the cement. The leather itself is actually relatively strong and solid, which is important that Ray-Ban decided to put that main leather shield here on the outside and here on the fronts, and then the cement here on the inside. That way, if it does start to kind of come off, it's not going to be very visible. But yeah, the main downfall of these frames is going to be that cement, and it can look a little bit ugly and a little bit chippy here, just kind of due to normal wear and tear. It's hard to describe it, but it's somewhat of a pliable, gooey, yet hard material, and it doesn't feel sticky. It feels solid. It's just going to, again, look pretty ugly there, and kind of look like the leather is falling apart, even though it's not actually the leather, it's actually the cement that's falling apart. And over time, these frames definitely do get trashed if you don't take care of them. So that is definitely the main problem with this pair of frames. Now, if we take a look here at the front of the frames, we can see they offer that classic Wayfarer styling, as of course would be expected. They do have a painted on Ray-Ban logo, and they have a P after that, because of course these frames have polarized B15 lenses. There's a beautiful brown all glass lens. And then we can also see an etched RB logo here in the middle left lens for authentication purposes. We can also see that they still preserved the metal accents here, which are traditional to the original Ray-Ban Wayfarer. And if we take a look at the outside temples of frames, we can see a raised Ray-Ban logo in both the left and the right hand temple. And that definitely is not going to be super easy to install, considering the fact that they did or have to wrap them in leather first before impressing that detail. So lining it up is definitely going to be a lot harder. But they were able to do it regardless. These still preserve the same 7-barrel all-metal hinges that were found on the original Ray-Ban Wayfarer, which is really nice. So they feel very good when opening up and when closing them. Now these frames are going to say Wayfarer, handmade in Italy in the inner left temple of frames. And they say polarized P3 Plus lens. These used Ray-Ban's P3 Plus lenses, which were their highest quality lenses at the time. And if we take a look here at the inner left temple of the frame, we can see it says Wayfarer, genuine leather, with the exact model number and color code information along with sizing information there. Now these frames are going to basically be the exact same weight as I almost dropped them, as the original Ray-Ban Wayfarer frames. So they're not going to be really heavier, even with the additional leather. I think they're like a gram heavier. So as far as weight goes, they're basically going to weigh the same. As far as fit on the face goes, they feel really good on the face. The leather bits feel really nice on the nose, and they feel really good behind the ears as well. So I wouldn't say they feel any better or worse than just the acetate, but they definitely feel very, very good. And I honestly think the leather gives them a little bit more of a grip here on the nose, which can be nice as far as the frames holding on the face and not falling off very easily. Now, as far as coverage from sun goes, of course, these frames are going to have the same kind of bad coverage as the original RB2140. So here up top, you can see a pretty big gap to let sunlight and unprotected. Then here on the side, again, there's definitely a big gap to let sunlight and unprotected. But because they do have the polarized lenses, they have a very nice anti-reflective material here on the back side of the lens, which helps reduce sunlight coming in, bouncing off the lens at an angle. Now, something else that I figured was worth mentioning is it's not going to be quite as easy to adjust a pair of these frames as it would a traditional acetate-only pair of frames. That's because we have the leather that we're working with here and also that leather cement. So personally, I really don't know enough about this particular pair of frames to heat it up and adjust it to somebody's face. So if somebody came in asking me to do that, I probably would decline it or have them sign some sort of waiver saying that, you know, I'm not at fault if I do damage the frames. With leather, you don't want to dry it out. You gotta be very, very careful not to completely dry out leather. Obviously, you could use some sort of mink oil to recondition it after it gets dried out in the frame warmer, but either way, I would definitely kind of try to not adjust these frames if possible. So overall, definitely a really cool pair of sunglasses from Ray-Ban's historical lineup. And I personally really do like these, but again, with those kind of main downsides, a lot of people didn't have high customer satisfaction when it came to this pair. And I believe that's why they decided to go ahead and discontinue it. And from what I've heard, the original Bausch & Lomb Ray-Ban Wayfarers were actually even better quality when it came to their leather frames. So I actually haven't personally held one of those frames, so I honestly don't know, but that's what I have heard. I'm definitely going to try to get one of those frames, but those are even harder to find because, as you can imagine, leather that's not treated properly sitting in a box for 40 or 50 years is not gonna be too good. So definitely really hard to get your hands on a clean pair of those. But that's what we have for this video. Let me know what you think about this pair of sunglasses in the comment section down below. I do have one of these for sale on our website, actually this exact pair, which is basically in perfect condition other than a couple flaws here in the inside ear rest that I showed earlier in the video, but the lenses are perfectly clear, no scratches at all, and they are definitely good to go. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to give me a big thumbs up down below, and of course, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and then you'll be notified every single time I upload a brand new video, just like this one, to our YouTube channel. Again, thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll catch you all in the next one.